Welcome to the Big Ed Light Skin Comedian Podcast. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I got a great show for everybody tonight. It's got a couple things to go over. I appreciate everybody tuning in on this beautiful Saturday, October the 9th. Hope you're enjoying your day. Hope you're having a blessed day. Really am proud. Really am happy today. Also, I want to say, let me say this first and foremost. Make sure you follow and subscribe me on YouTube, Big Ed Light Skin Comedian Podcast. Follow and subscribe. It's free. It's in your budget. But I got a great show for you now. We got to go over a couple of things. Let me go over this first and foremost. Got to go over my sponsors, because without going over my sponsors first, it wouldn't be no Big Ed Light Skin Comedian Podcast. And the first one I want to go over is the Smile Center, 7405 LaGrange Road here in Louisville, Kentucky. Go check him out. They keep me tight. So also, too, go check out All Good Computers on Preston Highway to keep my computer tight. And I'm very happy about that. So gotta have that tight more than anything. Also, I got a new sponsor tonight, the Big Head Light Skin Comedian Production. That's right, because I got a production going on. So from here on out, I'm gonna be having some shows. I got a show coming up in February, and I'll touch a little bit more bases on that as the podcast go on. Also, I want to just let everybody know the way my podcast work is. There's no right or wrong in COVID-19 and social justice. It's all about venting and expressing yourself. And if you got any opinions or whatever, please comment. Same way we subscribe and follow. I also, too, I just want to throw this out there, too. I got to throw this out there more than anything. Like I said, I got to throw out the fact that it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So make sure you support that, because that is big in America, okay? All right, well, with no more said, I'm going to bring in my first guest here. I'm going to tell y'all what the theme is tonight. Let me bring in my guest here. He's been around for a while. He's been doing comedy for a minute. He's got his own podcast. He's a really good person, really good comedian, good friend of mine. And I thought he would be great for tonight's theme, because I don't know too many of us like me and him, which is a married men thing. So y'all give it up for my good friend, Kenny Never Been Skinny, the comedian Kenny Never Been Skinny. Y'all give it up for him. Great, bring him right in here right now.
Hey.
A comedian.
What up, big bro? What up, big bro?
What's going on, man? You doing all right?
Oh yeah. Yes, indeed.
I don't know if you noticed, I got the banners in pink because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so I got to give it to my queens for that, and try to beat that bad disease, man. So I got to show them some love, man, because that's a big killer in America, especially for our women, our queens. So with that said, man, glad to have you. Like I said, I ain't told the people a whole lot about you, so you can kind of explain yourself just a little bit. I just gave them a little bit, then I'm gonna go into what we're talking about and some other things. So go ahead.
Okay, it's your boy, Big Kenny, Never Been Skinny. And like my big brother said, I got a podcast of my own, comes on every Tuesday, called Married-ish, me and my wife. And been doing comedy off and on for 2 years. Like he said, next year is gonna be better than this year. You heard me? So I'm ready. I'm just ready for what comes with the future. You heard me?
That's what's up. Yeah. Like I said, I told everybody a little bit earlier what my podcast is about. Like I said, in COVID-19 social justice, and letting people vent and voice their opinion, and hopefully a lot of people comment, because we got a great topic to talk about tonight, which me and you talked about a little bit. I want to tell everybody tonight's theme here on October the 9th is on my podcast is Married Men Life. I'm gonna say it again, Married Men Life, which is not an easy life. Matter of fact, ain't that many of us left. We kind of extinct.
You can say it again. People in the back.
Right, ain't that many of us left. We here though. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. So, but they say I got to talk about some of these things that married men go through on a daily and maybe even yearly basis, or whatever, as married men. And so that's real important. So I wanted to kind of step into that too. So with no further ado, let me go on and jump into this, because I know some people are gonna have some comments. Let me see if we got any comments here already, because like I said, it's getting ready to get hot. So, but yeah, I know. Yeah, it's gonna get hot. I just hope I ain't sleeping on the couch tonight. Let me see what I want to talk about first here. I don't know which one I should go into first, because I got so many good topics here, man. Let's go. Yeah, let's just get it, man. I think I'm gonna wait on that. I got so many good ones. Let me just hit it right here with this one. Let me hit it with this one. This is a hot topic here, and we're gonna elaborate on it. I just put sex, because I feel like sex is a big thing here, and yeah. Yeah, it's big. It's big. Yeah, in a marriage. So I just put it as sex. I didn't want to add nothing to it. I just want to put it out there. So how do married men, as married men, oh, you know what? I tell you what, now I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna go with this one. Now, before we go, I'm gonna go with this one. I think I'm gonna go with this one. Let's go with this one first. Married men attract single women. And we do. So being a married man, yeah, but being a married man, some of the hardest thing is sometimes you attract single women and you have to make sure you let them see your ring and you tell them you're married. You know, most married men, they carry the way in such a good way that that's why I think a lot of times single women are sometimes are thirsty for them because they carry themselves well, they mature, they just do things well, you know. So not all married men, but most married men. Let me just speak on that behalf. And I try to walk that line of, you know, like I said, being respectful. And I think, like I said, a lot of times they attract single women. Well, you go ahead and elaborate. You can elaborate a little more on that. So,
I mean, just what the title says, and I feel like married men attract single women based on them actually seeing that you can keep a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh
right.
my God. And sometimes a young lady might want just a little piece.
Right.
If it's just a piece of their relationship, they'll take it. Saying so. You know, as crazy as it seems, like they see that ring, they're like, oh, he knows how to keep a woman. You know what I'm saying? And I'll just take that little bit and I'll run with that little bit. Even if it's 20% of that person, I'm cool with that 20%. Because usually you give it that 20%, you having the best time of your life. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have to deal with that person on a daily basis. You just getting that little piece.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Like I said, we just and the thing about that one more than anything is there's a lot of women out here, like I said, especially in 2021, that for some reason they're attracted to married men, you know, because you got the side chicks, down low, you got all that. I'm just gonna talk about all that. But with that said, I still think for some reason married men attract single women because of the way they carry themselves and just the way who they are and what they do. Some women, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, some women love married men over just regular single men. I don't know what it is, but they do, and they have their reasons. So, and it's up to the married man to say, hey, you know, I can't do all that. Now, if you decide to go in there in that arena of that circle of messing with her, and now you playing with fire. So, but I just wanted to, you're playing with fire for real. But that's just part of being. That's like I said, married men life. This is our life. You know, we have to learn how to say no. We have to learn how we have to carry ourselves in such a way to where we make sure we were always respecting our queens whenever we're doing out here. So that's just my thing on that. Let me go into this. We're here though. I think this we're here especially. I would definitely talk about this. Wife bossy. Wife says she right, but you know she wrong. You can feel that one, Casey. I know you feel it.
Hey, this one right here. Boy.
Yeah, it's tough. You know,
life is bossy. I mean, I think even when it comes to any relationship, not just marriage,
right?
A woman feels entitled to be bossy or in charge, especially in the household. And I talk to plenty of married men who I'd be like, who runs the household? They'd be like, my wife. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick.
When you find the wifey's way, it's gonna be a problem. And you know how I am about that happy wife, happy life stuff. I hate that saying.
Right.
And a lot of women run with that. And so they tend to be bossy at times, and more than sometimes, a lot of the time.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? And with that, she's right. No, knowing I know she's wrong and she's right, I'm still apologizing for her wrongdoings. I'm like, you were supposed to get in trouble, not me, and I'm the one. I'm sorry for yelling.
Right.
You know, I should have did that. You know what I'm saying?
But go ahead.
I just said this. A woman's right even when she's wrong. You hear me? In a marriage, especially.
Right. Yeah, that's true. But I agree with that. But here comes my but. You know, every now and then, let me just say this: you got to take a stand for the kings. You know, you can keep on saying, okay, yeah, you're right. I'm going to let you get this one, let you get this one, let you get this one. But sooner or later, maybe I might get 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10. I'm like, hey, hold up, you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? You got to take that stand because kings. As kings, we got it's really in the king or queen thing. It's just a human being thing when you marry. I tell people, when you're married, you got, you treat each other like human beings, but sometimes it get tested because your soulmate, like she can just say anything and sometimes do anything to you, and going with that one. So, but it's not always like that. You got to treat like if I treat you like a human being, regardless, you got to treat me like one, even in the worstest times. You know, like I think I told you before. I told you before where my wife was mad at me, so mad at me one time, calling me big head this, big head M. I don't even want to go into it. And through all that, I think I told you, I was like, you know, I love you. I still love you, even though you call me all these names. So if you say that, you know what I'm saying? Right. It's like I said, you have to accept me for everything. So yes, you know what I'm saying. So, but I know another thing too about I think wives being bosses. A lot of them get them from their mother. If they've been brought up where they always have to take care of their little brothers or sisters or something like that, a lot of it comes natural, which is good, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes that's a good trait, but sometimes they just take it too far. But you know, so that's why I had to touch on that for sure because and it's nothing the matter with always letting them be right, but every now and then we got to get one in for us, you know. So every now and then,
you know, we talked about that. It's not if we're right about the situation.
Right.
She's not worried about you making a point. She's like, but what about your tone of voice? Why are you yelling? Why are you being so upset? It's because you did. I'm holding you accountable.
Right.
A lot of times women don't want to be held accountable for what their wrongdoings, especially. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when we hold them accountable, no, we gotta stand up. Like you said, as men, we gotta stand up for ourselves because when we held accountable, it don't matter if it hurts our feelings. It don't matter if you loud talked us because that point got across and you were right. So it's cool.
Right.
So you gotta go both ways. It gotta go both ways.
It's got to. And like I put up a meme the other day on my page about what about the toxic women that are toxic with men? We never talk about that because you got toxic women who are toxic with men. They have to take it. And that's in marriage too. You got some toxic wives out there too. I'm just calling it what it is. And men just accept it. You know what I'm saying? Her being toxic. I guess they knew what they was marrying, but they out here. You know what I'm saying? So So, but let me go into this one. How you as far as us being married men and everything, and I'm speaking. Let me see. Hold up. I got 2 comments here. I'm just steadily talking. I ain't checking the comments out. Oh, I got Tab T. She said hi. Katrina said hi. How y'all doing?
Hey, lady.
Hey, what's going on? Ain't nobody just kid and play, Tab T. So chill out. But let me go back there to my banner here, and I'm gonna put this one up because I think this is a big thing too in what we're doing too, and being married men, social media, internet. As married men, think about all the ones that come in and DMs and thirsty. I got 1 or 2 stories. You know, let me just say this. My thing is this. If you can't say something on social media platform wide open where everybody can see it, including my wife to me, don't say it to me in chat messages on the DM. I think that's the best way I can put it. Because a lot of times because a lot of times, a lot of thirsty women, might come at you in your DM or chat message, whatever, and you're like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Not going to do that to my queen, so, and I feel like by you coming that angle anyway, your intentions ain't good anyway.
Yeah, it's
so,
a
sneaky move, so it's on that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You thirsty, you know what I'm saying? So, but you come at with, so like I said, if you can't put it out in the forefront, and you come in on the DM, and you'd be surprised how many people hit married men's DM all the time. It's all about how we respond and the choice. So go ahead, you go ahead. I mean, elaborate. Because I'm sure somebody.
Social media could be a good thing, but it also can be a bad thing. In the situation when it comes to social media, I can talk. Back when we was younger, we had to go outside and talk to a female, and the surrounding area in which we lived in, our work or whatever it may be.
Right.
Now that social media is out here, there's so many platforms.
Oh man.
Hey, let me tell you something. And a lot of marriages getting damaged because of social media.
Mm-hmm.
I know certain people that when it comes to social media, if I don't put my wife on social media, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get that.
Like
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Ain't on the social media, it's like, so what you trying to hide me? No, I want everybody to know my business. But a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of like, you got to show me, on social media. I'm like, everybody around us know you.
Right.
But you got to be known to the world. Is that, you know what I'm saying? The same. So social media it came to a lot of downfalls in marriages and relationships, period.
Right.
Be
Yeah.
under them DMs. You know what I'm saying? And like, and
Yeah.
that screenshot is real, fellas.
Yeah, it's right. It sure
Screenshot.
is. And that's how they get you to the screenshot,
Oh
screenshot
yeah,
stuff like
hey,
that.
let me tell you
That's
something.
how
That
they get you.
screenshot is crazy. They got all type of stuff out right now.
Yeah.
That'll get you caught up. You know what I'm saying? So
It's just too hard to hide from with all the technology. It's too high. It's too hard to hide from. It really is more than it's too hard. Like you said, back then it wasn't all this internet and social media technology. But now you got so much stuff that you can sit here and copy off of. You'd be surprised how quick somebody can copy something you say via text or via on social media, internet, or however you do it. You know, and it hits you real hard. You'd be like, and then you try to get out. You can't get out of it because that's your name on that text. You can't get out. You can't get out of it. Right,
my homie, nah,
right,
up.
right. You know, so and that's why I tell people you got to be careful on social media on how you carry, especially as a married man, because a lot of times people, you know, they just come at you different. And I agree with you too on that because now that I have people watching my page, which I probably do, whether they family members or not, I'm not gonna put nothing on there to make me as well as my family look bad. When I say my family, my wife, my kids, you get what I'm saying? So, you know, and you gotta make sure that stays real good and tight because and a lot of times, you know, that's why I'm not gonna put on there that's gonna affect them because then they have to deal with it, you know, right there on the side. You got a lot of celebrities go through that, some of they mess, their daughter gotta go to school with and they answer through these other kids. You get what I'm saying? Because something they done through social media, internet. And they didn't realize it's gonna affect everybody through family training. So that's why I say you have to really watch it. Being a married man on social media, that you definitely got to be careful.
Social media will break up a happy home.
That's right. That's right. I'll be like,
but only if you let it. Only if you let it.
That's right. That is very true. I want to talk about this too. And this is another relatives and a married man life relatives and family. Yeah, yeah. That's one right there to talk about with married men. I'm gonna let you go first, Nick. I got something to talk about that.
Listen,
one for real.
They say when you get married, you marry the family.
Correct. Woo! Correct. Correct.
Listen, sometimes, especially over time, you're like, oh, I didn't sign up for this.
Right.
I need to go the opposite way. Right. Relatives, I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing, especially like I said, in-laws. In-laws, yeah, it's an up and down thing. If you don't create that bond, you know what I'm saying? Right. It can be real. It can tear your family apart. And then on your side, you know, like relatives on my side, you know, if they don't accept my wife for who she is, it can be turmoil. So when it comes to relatives, you got to make sure that the people that live with you are secure and okay. Before the outside, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's how you keep a happy home, a happy spouse, a happy house. You heard me? Oh, yeah. I was saying that quote: a happy spouse, a happy house, and relatives, especially if you know, love when you married your wife, it was certain family members that was like, oh, she's trying to take you from us. You know what I'm saying? Right. Right. You gotta make sure the house is straight before anything. You know, it's cool to you know, be around family and enjoy each other, but when it comes to breaking up a happy home, man, you can't let no outside entities interfere with what y'all got. And I remember one time you had drew a circle. Yeah. And I love this analogy. He had drew a circle, right? And he had dotted in that circle how many people was in his household, and then he put a lot of dots on the outer rim of the circle, and he was saying how people on the outside of that circle shouldn't be messing up what's in that inner circle. So make sure your inner circle is cool and okay before anything else, because like I said, people on the outside don't want that to happen sometimes just because they are happy. Right, you're right, and they see you happy, and that kind of eats them up. And that's including relatives. There are some relatives that see you happy, and that eats them up. And that's why I showed that to you. But long story short, my thing about the relatives is, if they'll notice by the way you carry yourself, as you take care of your queen and you husband and wife, they'll know there's certain things they cannot do to get to your inner circle because you won't allow it, and they know that. And them are the ones that I don't mind dealing with. It's the ones who try to test me, my light skin ability,
to challenge him. And I will challenge them with my light skill ability. So, but what they say is them are the ones I'm worried about. Now, once I get them in charge, like, hey, this ain't happening, they just step away. Anything, I mean, I don't love them. Just that you know that I'm not gonna let nothing get in this circle. You can forget that. Yeah, you know, and it's all about communication, how you approach two relatives and different times communicate. But like I said, you still got those relatives that can sometimes be a burden to you because the way they carry themselves. You could have been in to help them several times, whether it's money or just talk or whatever the case may be. And they still, just the way they carry themselves and they burden themselves. And you got, it's some relatives, really, to be honest with you, I'm going to keep going. Some relatives you just can't, you just got to cut off. It don't mean you don't love them, but you just got to cut them off. And that's just real, that's real talk, you know? So yeah, you got to cut them off. And I tell any married man, any married person, woman, or whatever, if you think it's going to affect your marriage in any type of way, cut them off. In order for your marriage to work, cut them off. That's right, cut them off. Because I'm telling you, yeah, you know, I'm just telling you. So
from a distance. Sometimes I got relatives and friends from a distance. Like, I love you, but I can't be around that. If you can't accept what we got going on.
Right. Yeah, true that. Here's one, the one I put up at first, and I'm gonna get into that because I got one more after this too.
Oh yeah,
you know, yeah, that's oh yeah.
XEX. You hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Talk about it.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, go ahead. I'll let you go. Go ahead, because I got some talk about it.
You know, just putting it up there says a lot. Just putting that word up there says a lot. Especially in a marriage, in any relationship, you know, when it comes to a partnership, sex is like one of the most important things. I don't want to say the most important, but it's in the top three. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that.
You can have the most amazing time with a person. You can enjoy their company. You can have a foundation to build. But if that sex is not good,
yeah.
I don't know how long I can go.
Right. It's like going to a bad restaurant. I keep going to a bad restaurant. I can't keep going through this. And there's really three things I go back on this one here. You know, like you said, that's really important to me as far as in a marriage. And you can categorize me the way you want to. You know what I'm saying? Sex, communication, respect. In a marriage, sex, communication, respect. Sex somewhere falls, and I ain't gonna say it's first, I ain't gonna say it's last, but it is important. It is important, and it's all about how you know you're made and everything. You know, because you going as men. Let me just say, as being a married man, there's some nights you be like, "Come on, baby, come on." You should be like, "No, not tonight. I got a headache. Yeah, I'm so tired." Yeah, I said, "Well, let me not." I'll be like, "Well, I got something for all that tiredness." I got something real light skin for all that tiredness. But you know, but that's what's men. We got to be like, okay, she's tired, you know. But it just depends on how many times you do it. If she keep doing it all the time, you be like, she trying to play me, or she got another man, you know. But now my thing is this, like I said, sex, communication, respect, all go together. It does. And it's important. It does.
When you bring up communicating, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah, you're all right.
When you talk about communication, I want to keep it very clear with a lot of people. Right. Anybody that's watching this right now, communication is key. That's a beautiful thing. But
yes,
make sure it's healthy communication. Because a lot of us communicate and don't even speak. You know what I'm saying? So we got to make sure that it's healthy and positive. Because communication, me and you can have communication. If it's bad, that's not a good thing. Right. That can tear up our relationship too. So with that communication, I love it. Respect is amazing. And sex, of course. Right. It got to be there, you know. There's other way around. They got toys and, you know, to help y'all out. You know, if a person ain't good in bed, you know, you can use your tongue. It's always a way to satisfy somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you gotta learn. You gotta be willing to learn.
Right.
You know,
right.
A lot of people's egos get the best of them. Oh, I got the biggest thing and I can just jab. And a lot of women ain't having that. You know, just as much as men. You're like, hold on, why ain't you? You know, ready. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, so
yeah, you're right on that though, and it's important because that's like it got to be good communication. You're right, because there are some couples right now, married couples right now. I'm just telling you that are roommates instead of married mates. And there's a difference. There's a difference. There are some married couples right now on this podcast that are roommates and not married mates, and it's because they're not communicating. One might not say nothing to another one for 4 or 5 days. You know, that's a bad way to communicate, you know. So communication is the key, I feel like, to any marriage. First and foremost, it's got to be communication and respect. Now, it's very important. You got to have communication. If you don't have communication, you really don't have nothing. You know, it's like staying with somebody and they never talk to you. There's no communication.
Exactly.
So, you know, so where's the love at? So you have to communicate, even through the bad and the good. And I think the most important communication, let me just say this, being a married man and everything, the most important communications is when we are discussing or even arguing differences or disagreement. You get what I'm saying?
Hey,
the most important.
There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. It's how you react to that disagreement that gets stir up a lot of chaos in that household.
Well, I think you said this once, agree to disagree. Ain't that what you said one time? Agree to disagree.
There's nothing wrong with that. But when I tell you you're wrong and whatever you're saying I'm not listening to, that's when the arguments start to, you know what I'm saying? Start to arrive. You know what I'm saying? So it's a give and take.
It is a give and take. And like I said, but it's still very important. Communication is the most important key. Let me I got one or two more here too. And this
before you go, because
we ain't got to go nothing else. No, we good, right? What's up?
Take us out. So when it comes to a relationship, okay. Oh my God. I done lost my train of thought when I see what I'm saying. I hate that.
You all right. Yeah, take your time. You all right. You on the Big Head Light Skin Comedian Podcast. You can do whatever. You can do whatever. This is the Big Head Light Skin Comedian Podcast, my podcast.
No, you know we talk at work.
Yeah, true that.
You know, when it comes to relationships.
Right.
When it comes to standards,
right.
You know how we talked about that. I've heard ladies talk about their standards.
Mm-hmm.
And if this person doesn't qualify for each standard, I can't be with them. When does that break? When do we say our standards, my standards is here, but I'll let that one go. That can slide because a lot of people's standards disqualify a lot of people based on the standards. When is that? When do you bend your standards? Or do you ever?
Or do you ever be flexible with? Some people may not want to be flexible with them. This is what I've always said too about when you communicate in standards and everything. If you got standards, that's great. But I tell people is when you get married and you get a mate, them standards become rubber bands. They're very flexible. They are very flexible because if they're not, you're gonna make it hard for yourself with them standards. So you have to be flexible. There's no other way in a marriage. You have to be flexible in order for it to work. You know, and it's sacrifice. People don't want to sacrifice, especially in 2021. I gotta do what? You mean to tell me I gotta do this? No, I ain't doing that. No, I ain't doing that. No, I ain't doing that. You know, so how in the world do you expect it to work if you're not flexible? You know, like you said, agree to disagree. I have no problem agreeing with someone my wife said, as long as it's somewhat right. You know what I'm saying? But if it's totally wrong, but finances, especially in finances, which I haven't even got to yet, but I was going to put on her. But that was going to be next. But anyway, but especially when it comes to finances, if I say this was this amount and you spent that you went over that amount, well, you're wrong. There is no validation for that. Right. She's not validate. Well, it was a pretty dress. It was only $10. No, you said you was gonna spend $5. So I'm just using, as speaking in general, but in general term. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm like, come on now.
No, you gotta stand on your word,
yeah. So that's why I tell people you have to be flexible in a marriage in order for it to work. If you're not, your standards, you can forget that standard stuff and just try to be open-minded, but also still y'all still gotta be respectful of each other, even being open-minded, So, and I always try to remember that regardless, always. So, but yeah, man, I mean, we can go into that one. Like I said, I was getting ready to talk about finance. I think I still am going to do finances, but
let's talk about it.
Let's talk about finances here. Hold on, let me do this here because what was it at here? Here it is. Let's see. I got some. Hold on here. What did I do here? I'm over here. I got some light skin issues. I'll get it straight. Let's go into this one. Let's go into this one here. Then we're going to. And it's not a married man thing. And the only reason why I put this on is because I know we was talking to some people working, and they having a hard time for us dating, and because everything's online and dating and relationships. My thing is this, being married men, I'm just trying to give my point of view on this dating and relationship thing in 2021. Because I know a lot of people want to date and then they want to move from dating to get married, which is cool. But I say date with an open mind, not thinking about marriage.
Boy,
But
what you
thank you. And the reason why I say is because you got so many young men as well as young women that want to be married after dating 6 months, a year, whatever. See, you going in already thinking like that. You should just go in with open mind. I'm just going to date, be myself, and see where it's taking me. Instead of saying, well, we've been dating for a year, but you waiting on. Where's the ring at? You know what I'm saying? So you can elaborate a little bit on that.
I think, that just comes from pressure of, I always say this, when it comes to a young lady, when they grew up, I'm not saying for all, but I know the ladies around me, they grew up and their moms and grandmothers and aunties would tell them, be a lady, present yourself as a lady and, find that husband, But when it came to men, when it came to me being a little boy, it was like, go hustle, get that money, and get as many women as you can.
That's right.
We never was prepared to get married. We just, for me, it felt like I got pushed into, this is what's gonna happen. I need this, and the man's gonna be like, okay, well, I don't want to lose you, so let's get married. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
A lot of times, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, how did y'all get married? My wife said we gonna get married. That's how it goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because we love enjoying a woman. So it's like, if I don't put a ring on it, I can't have you no more. Well, let's get married then.
Right. Well, I know some people saying, if the dating scene has changed in 2021, people were saying that, people I've talked to, and it's like, what lovers, this is what the person was telling me. They don't know how to treat a woman like far as being a gentleman, or far as opening the door. This stuff that happened way back in the 90s and 80s. It seemed like if you don't teach the young men this, they're not going to do this. Okay, so let me just say that first, almost before I get into this. But as far as treating them with, open the door, being nice to, bringing flowers, just doing them type of things. Our young men that got away from some of that type of stuff. Not to say there are some young men doing it, I'm sure, out there, but there's some that are not doing it as far as dating and relationships, because everybody's meeting online. And it's so hard because when you finally meet that person in person, it's a little different from the way they are online. And then y'all don't click. It's like, okay, this ain't gonna work. But then if you do click, that's great. But then you're still learning about this person, because the only thing is from online, just the general information you get from online.
Yeah.
So you still got to put in the work. It's like my stand-up comedy, like us being comedians. You still got to put in the work. I don't care how many times you've been on stage. You still got to put in the work when you get on stage and perform. And it's the same thing in the relationship. You just got to put in the work more than anything. Like I said, a lot of young people, they're having a rough time dating, and a lot of them on these online sites, which is great. And you got to really watch that, because you got some crazy people out here on these dating sites. You just don't know who's who. So, but I understand some people have made great connections on dating online. Some people ain't so. But dating in 2021, there's so many single people out there right now. And I might be, it's like we being extinct almost, married men. I'm just saying, it's like we dinosaurs. Because
dating is, like you said, dating is even extinct right now. Yeah. It's more so people are getting into these entanglements, and then they were like, okay, well, we didn't had sex this many times. Now we're in a relationship. And when you base your relationship off of sex first, that's why a lot of turmoil comes, because after the sex, then what?
Right.
And that's why I said sex, earlier, that sex ain't as the most important, but that it's one of my top threes. But at the same time, when you get in a relationship and it's all about sex, and we done 6 months down the road, we don't talk that much. We don't go out. All we doing is doing that. And a lot of people call that dating or being in a relationship until they get out into the real world and going out with each other and seeing how that person really is. You're like, oh, I don't like this person. This sex is amazing, but outside of the sex, then what?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I just encourage anybody that's dating or being in a relationship to actually get to know that person before the sex come into play. You know what I'm saying? Go out and, go on dates and see how that person is in public. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sit home and Netflix and chill. See how that person is privately, without the physical thing. Then you'll start to, I seen a post earlier when you that you had put on there like F sex. I want to F your mind. I want to get to your mind first I want to
There
see
you
what's
go.
up here
That
way
you
before I
follow.
want to see what's down there. Because
Right.
if I stimulate your mind, oh, that little thing down there, oh, you go, oh yeah, baby girl, you good. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, because a person know, a woman knows if they're gonna have sex with you within the first 5 or 10 minutes they talk to you.
That's
You know
true.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if you got the mouthpiece to get in their head and keep them interested, then you're gonna get that eventually anyways.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But rushing into the sex game before you know each other, I don't see it lasting a long time. It probably didn't happen. I'm not gonna say it hasn't happened.
Right.
Somebody got married afterwards or whatever. But in a lot of situations, I'm in love with the sex and not the person.
Right. And you got to distinguish them from each other. Because if you try to put them together, you get what I'm saying. I mean, you got to distinguish. Just make sure you know the person while you're having sex. Because you got to distinguish and get to know the person altogether. So that's very important when, especially when dating. Because dating and relationships nowadays, I would not want to be part of that arena. That is a tough arena, and a lot of it's online about mutual friends or whatever, and everybody's saying this and that.
Everybody's for self nowadays. We got lucky. No, I'm not gonna say lucky. We're very blessed to have the young ladies that we do have, because a lot of this time is, everybody's selfish right now. Right. It's all about what you can do for me, what you've done for me.
Everybody caught up in their feelings.
So you just hurt me. It's about, we talk about feelings.
Everybody caught up in their feelings. And
that's the feelings, keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Let's have a good time. We're not enjoying each other, and we're not keeping a smile on each other's face, then I need not to be around you. Like you said earlier, I can love you, but I can love you from a distance. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be around that negative. If you're not feeding me, and I tell you that if the people around you are not feeding you, and what I mean spiritually, and making you feel good about who you are, you need not to. And I ain't saying no yes man or whatever. I'm not saying a person. Oh yes, you're right. No, I'm talking about a person that when you're down, they'll make sure to help you get up. They won't let you stay in that state of sadness or depression. That's the type of people you need around you to take the ideas that you have and expand them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you're bringing something to the table, don't sit in one of the chairs. You hear me?
And you're right. No, you're right. You're exactly right. And that's important. Like I said, but I want to talk about this dating relationship because, like I said, I know a lot of people out there and are going through it right now as far as dating or whatever. And the best advice I can give them more than anything, be yourself and take your time about what you're doing, because I always tell people you should never be in a rush to do something, especially be with somebody. Take your time, get to know each other. What's the rush? Well, there is no rush. It's the only rush is because of you rushing, you and your partner, or one of your partners rushing. Take your time, enjoy yourself as much as you can, and the thing will just grow itself. But as soon as you try to say this or rush this and just let it be, because a lot of times, especially in 2021, and the hardest thing, Kenny, more than anything, man, is everything that's around us. Not only the social media, just people in general, and COVID-19, social justice, everything that's going on. That too is hard, because you're part of that, and even in dating and relationships, because so. But
Big bro, can I ask you this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you we both married?
Right.
Do you still before you got married, you was an individual, right?
Okay. Right. Yeah.
You were single. Now you're married. Do you still have your individuality in your marriage? Because and the reason why I'm asking that is because once we get married, everybody says, and even me, we are as one. So now we as one, and a lot of times, people get put in the box of I got to do everything with my spouse, and I don't have the individuality, because I lost myself when it came to marriage, because I was like, would that satisfy my wife instead of actually doing what I know that was going to benefit us down the road, but it was individually my own, when it came to comedy, when it came to doing skits or whatever. That's my individuality, and I lost that. Do you still have the individuality?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, but it's in a way where I know it might sound just a little bit off, but it's in a way where I also respect my queen in doing it. And what I mean by that is, when we first got together a long time ago, back when we first got together, it was one thing. She knew I loved comedy. She knew I loved comedy. I like to play golf and just a couple things I like to do. And I understand I was going to give some of that up in order to make this family the way it is. But I also knew that I told her that was my spiritual peace of mind. And for the family, I said, it's good for me to get this because you don't want me to be a crazy father or husband. So I said, I just need every now and then. Said, and it's not like, I said, basically all that is my golfing and my comedy. All it is my peace of mind, faith. You know what I'm saying? It's all it is. It's just to get my mind, right, more than anything. And I feel good after I do it because I love it so much. I love playing golf. I love doing stand-up. I love this entertainment, doing this podcast, which she allowed me to do, so, and it was kind of somewhat just a little bit. It was my idea too, but hers too, to start this podcast. Like I said, when we couldn't get on stage anymore in 2020 when COVID hit. So with that said, she's accepted, and I also, but by her accepting it, I respect her for accepting it, and I respect everything she's doing that she decides she wants to do. I respect it, you know what I'm saying? Because she is respecting my individuality, I respect her individuality. And it's true, that's something you have to do in a marriage. A lot of people don't want to do because they always want to be under their spouse. But you have to let them be fond of you. And that's why you have to sometimes let them get away so they can come back and be more fond of you. I'm not saying be gone for a day or two, but just a little bit missing a person makes you more fond of them. I've always said that. So it ain't that I don't want to like being around my wife and be under her, but every now and then, we as our human beings, sometimes we just need to work on self, because this is God's temple first and foremost. When I leave her, I'm going by myself. The last time I looked, I ain't never seen both married couples go down in the grave yet. So, so that's why I was telling my wife, I said, I love you. I said, but one of us is going to leave for the other. That don't mean I don't love you no less. I'm always going to love you. I wish we'd go together, but that ain't going to happen. So, but that's why I said, that's why you need your individuality, because that's who you are. You always should keep that in a marriage. And I see a lot of men and women sometimes lose that in their marriage, and they wonder why they're having the problems. It's somewhere along the line they lost communication on the individuality or the trust or something. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yes, whatever it was.
Yeah, they've lost it somewhere through the line, and that's really big because I've seen a lot of men lose individuality and just lose and be completely gone through marriage. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just gone. I'm like, it's whatever she want to do. I'll pull up her socks for her. I'll put her shoes on for her. I'm like, whoa, you doing too much. You doing too much. Yeah, you doing too much.
We talk, boy.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, but that's just, that's just where it is. So make sure you keep your individuality if you married, because that's very important. And if you can't, at least talk to your spouse about it, because I let her know it helps you. It helps you as well as her, for real, because it opens your mind up. You're more peaceful itself, because you always got to work on self. That's why I go lift weight. I tell people all the time, I don't go to the gym to get big and hug it. I go to the gym because it's a peace of mind, stress free. That's why I go to the gym. I free myself. Same way when I'm on stage, it just frees me because I enjoy doing it. It's something I enjoy doing, and it's my individuality. So, and you know what? With that said, I ain't never been able to get my wife to go to the gym with me, and I've tried to, even though it's my individual. I've tried to. So, but she's like, you know what? That's you. You keep doing you. You know what I'm saying? It's your individuality. You go in the gym, cool. So. Yeah, I'm good, so, but you're right about individuality. You really are. That hit home because you got to have that. Let me go into this here. And I was kind of just talking about that just now. Healthy marriage, exercise. I mean by exercise, health and fit, really, as far as exercising. And I think it's important in a marriage, whether you're young or older. I know I'm a little older, OG. I know if you're young, I guess you already been active doing things where you're going, doing skiing or whatever you're doing, you know what I'm saying? I guess you're already active, but as you get older in your marriage, you have to exercise, and if not together, at least individually. Just for your own temple, for your own body. Because a lot of times, if you feel all sluggish, if you ain't exercising, you're picking up all this weight, you take some of that negativity out on who? Your spouse. So you have to work on that health.
I'm that guy. I was that guy, at least. I'm not that guy anymore, but I was that guy.
Okay, yeah.
Because I was miserable.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know what they say, misery loves company.
Yes, it
and
does.
So I couldn't do like normal stuff, like take my own bath. Like my wife had to literally help me take a bath at one time. And I would be frustrated at her.
Okay.
Because of the timing and all that. It's like, no, change up and lose weight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I understand that completely.
Mm-hmm.
Healthy marriage, exercise. I love it. You know, we stay active, no matter if it's just walking. You don't have to always go to the gym. That's just the love us in Big Kitty, because I love the gym too.
Right.
You know, so that's all things that we love doing individually. But when it comes to just move around, just be active, even if it's just cleaning up the home, or like I said, walking around your neighborhood or something. You know, just to get off your feet and get off your butt.
No, but you're right. Yeah, that's true. You got to stay healthy, man. If I need to go walking more, I mean, my wife need to go walking more around the housing complex, because that's good exercise, and we need to do it more, and she will do that. So,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, you have to
that's
do
all
that,
it is, is compromise. You know.
Yeah, and it just compromise, you know, and it's good for you to go walking, you know, to let some things out. So it really is, man. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean, you just have to, and that's keeping your marriage healthy more than anything.
Yeah. And the bedroom would be amazing as well, y'all. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh man,
it's amazing.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Oh man, I just think too, man. A lot of times, like I said, and not only exercise, it keeps a marriage healthy too. I think too, you know, I could say have a healthy communication. Like I was saying, there a healthy communication, healthy exercise, healthy finances, healthy all the way through.
Yeah, see, healthy marriage, all of that fell up under that umbrella, big brother.
Right.
I was loving that you elaborate to let the people know.
Yeah.
But healthy marriage, it is exercise, because it's a workout, y'all. You hear me?
Yeah.
That's why I love it. He's so genius with that, because you literally have to work out when it comes to a marriage or any relationship. Right. It's work.
It is.
So put the work in, and I promise you, you'll come out the other end successful when it comes to being married.
Well, you know, a friend of mine told me, not to interrupt you, but a friend of mine told me a long time ago, you know, he had been married too for some years. And he told me, he said, man, love it. She said, a healthy man in a marriage is good. He said, because if you get a healthy man, the physical part is nothing. He said, because the man controls the physical. So he said, you keep a healthy man in your marriage, he said, you good. He said, but when you lose the man, and you said you can have all the physicality, but you lose the man part, then your marriage has got a problem. So if you keep the man healthy, the body's gonna follow, and your wife's gonna follow, because you keep your man healthy and open for your marriage. So and a lot of times sometimes we don't keep our man healthy through our marriage. We might fall off for a minute, but we get right back in there. You know, so gotta keep a healthy man. It's all mental anyway. Everything we do in life is mental. You know, it's all mental. It's all, as I tell people, like I tell my kids all the time, the choices you make is what's going to follow you. Not what I do, not what your mother do, the choices you make is what follow you. So you have to, you know, that's all that is, man. Man, we touched on a lot of base, so I got another comment here. Let me see. I got a comment here. Asia Hicks. Hey, I'm late. Yes, you are late. As always on CBT time. But it's all good. At least she in here, yeah. And she ain't asked no questions. I'm gonna give her a little love though. But yeah, so we you know, hey, at least you tried to get her. So but
that's what I was coming to you about earlier. You remember my mind went blank for a second. Okay. You know how we talk about spiritual growth, you know?
Yeah. Oh man. Ooh.
What do you do when it feels like, okay, because we talked about individuality, right?
Right.
And I went on my spiritual journey by myself, you know.
Okay.
And I didn't bring I regret not bringing the wifey with me when it came to that, because I started reading more, I started understanding, I started having a relationship with God again, like tough. And I didn't see my wife growing, you know.
Okay. Right. Mm-hmm.
Like, can that you going on your journey by yourself, can that be detrimental to the marriage? Knowing that you feel like, okay.
No, because you're on a spiritual growth. And it can't do nothing but strengthen the marriage, I think. Strengthen you as long as you carry it over to your queen, which you automatically gonna do.
Yeah, of course.
That's what you automatically gonna do.
When you get news, it's like, I gotta go tell my wife.
Right,
but I wish I would have put her in that room with me so she could see it for herself with me. Right. Instead of me, because a lot of times in a marriage, ladies, I'm sorry, but y'all don't be listening.
Right.
It's like you can go in there and one ear out there, oh yeah, whatever. But when she actually sees it for herself, that person actually telling her and not me, she tends to listen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just, you know, because it felt like I was like, well, I'm growing. Why ain't you growing? You know what I'm saying?
So you should say it ain't time for me to grow mentally. It ain't time right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. It's not time for me. Now back to that listening part. That's real big because I've heard that a lot. You know, men hear that a lot, man, especially from their spouse. You don't listen to me. You don't. You know, after being with you so many years, I do listen. I just don't listen enough for you to
I don't
understand.
respond the way
You want me to respond, or do you want me to understand?
We don't respond the way they want us to respond, so you're not listening. I heard everything you said, baby.
Right,
but were you listening?
That's like one time, I'll give you a little quick story. I told them, it's just a little simple story. I told my wife about this hamburger spot. She didn't believe me about it. Oh, she kept saying, it ain't that good. It probably it's not that good. I said, babe, I'm telling you right now, they got the best hamburgers you ever want to eat. Best ones. All right. She didn't believe me. Okay. So finally, I got her one of the burgers. This is what happened, Kenny. She was eating the burger. She kept eating it, kept eating it. Together, she ate the whole thing. She was like, oh, that's the best burger I ever had. I said, did somebody tell you that? See what I'm saying? Did somebody tell you? But you didn't want to listen. But that's back then. She got to actually feel it.
To what you said and believe in you. She had to indulge in it herself before. It's like, baby, why would I lie to you?
Thank you.
Like, I wouldn't tell you wrong, baby. I'm not going to want you to eat any kind of, so.
Right, yeah. But they have to actually see it, like you said, I'll feel it. Until they felt she had to, once she ate that burger, she felt it like, oh, this is good. Yeah, and you're right. This way it's cause sometimes it's coming from her husband. She's like, yeah, whatever. Sometimes we are right. I'm just saying. Sometimes we
y'all hear that?
Yeah. But man, this has been great, man. People have been commenting. I know a lot of people looking at it. I want to keep it going. I wish I could, but I got a wife to get to.
Hey,
so, no, but it's all good.
Twice,
right. Oh my God, it's all good.
What you doing?
Oh man, but I always enjoy having you, man, on here, and I appreciate you coming to my podcast and on this platform and putting yourself out there about married men life, because we do go through a lot, but through it all, through our spiritual growth and human beings, we just keep on going every day. Then we blessed to wake up another day. And as married men, that's all you got to do is keep a strong faith and keep going, keep moving every day. And it gets better, but your marriage is what you make it at the end of the day. I always tell it's back to the choices you make with your marriage. So, and with that said though, man, before we get off this platform, I want to say a couple more things too here real quick. I got like I said, I want to just touch a little bit on that Louder and Laughter comedy show that went down. Oh my God. Tell the people about it. Cause see, I was there hosting it, but they won't, they only believe so much because I'm light skinned. So I need you to tell the people about it, how great of a comedy show it was and some of the great comedians we had, man.
Listen, every comedian on that stage put on a great performance. No shit, man. And Big Brother know that I would tell him if I ain't like it. And I'm talking about from the beginning of the show, from the opening act to the headliner, Miss Weston Pookie. She's funny and hilarious. Yeah. The whole team, like everybody did their thing. This man right here is one of my top favorite hosts in the world when it comes to comedy. I be trying to tell him all the time, like,
right.
You can tell your jokes and everything because the crowd was beautiful.
Oh yeah.
The music, the intro to everybody's coming in. I loved it. Me and my wife laughed. And best believe it. Listen, this is the first comedy show in 2 years that my wife didn't go to sleep. If anybody in the comedy world know my wife, they know that she will go to sleep right in the front.
Oh my God. Yeah,
she
I sure was.
But comedians have literally like picked on her because she was knocked out. So
she done drunk NyQuil and
it was so many other comedians came out. It was a pack. It was everything. I enjoyed myself. So
yeah, and that's why I wanted you to elaborate on it because, like I said, I'm gonna do another show here coming up in February 19th, and I just want people to come out and laugh and enjoy themselves from whatever they're going through in life. And that's what my show is about. Come out, enjoy yourself, and laugh. And I try not to make it too expensive because I know we all trying to, live and let live. So I want everybody to come out and have a good time. And also, I want to go back to that hosting. A lot of people always tell me I do a good job hosting, which I appreciate. I'm very humble for it. But I've heard this too. I've seen this on social media. I didn't comment. I just looked at it, and it's they was talking about there was some comedians here in the city If something about who's the best host and this and that, who hosts the best here in the city or wherever, nobody mentioned my name. But that's cool because you know what? It's all about staying in my lane, and that's what I do. But I appreciate that love. I really do.
Help those lips, bro.
So, yeah, I really appreciate that love. I do. Because like I said, when I host, I host. When I bring you out, I bring you out. I don't bring you out to no bull. I'm gonna bring you out. I'm gonna bring you out what you deserve to
This
be brought
guy
out.
was dancing.
Yeah, that's just the way I roll. Yeah. With that said, man, before we get off here, man, let the people know your handle, how to get in contact with you. About your I love your podcasts too. You're doing your wedding, what's it called, the marriage podcast. You and your wife are doing truly great. I like that. Them are strictly for married men. If you're a single man, you might get mad watching our single women, but but you can learn something from it though, for real. So, but he got some great marriage podcasts, his marriage podcast, him and his wife do, which I enjoy too. But tell everybody how to get in contact with you and your handle and everything before we get out of here.
Well, you already know it's your boy Big Kenny, never been skinny. You can reach me at Facebook, Instagram, my YouTube. More skits to come your way. Me and the wife, like he just said, we got the Married-ish podcast. My kids got the Kiddish podcast. We do 2022 coming bigger and better, man. I'm so blessed to be here. You know what I'm saying? Stress free and blessed. You know, it's a beautiful thing. So, you know. Love you. Thank you once again, man, for having me on your platform, man. It was a beautiful time, and I enjoyed myself. You hear me?
Man, I enjoyed you, man. And the thing about it, like I said, we always have a good time when we get together because it's just us being ourselves and having good, clean fun, which is what life is all about. So I enjoy having you, man. Jai Chandler just came in here and says salute. Salute to you too, my brother. Much love to you, Jai. With that said, though, man, I just want to talk to people just a little bit more if I get. I want to give 2 birthday shouts out. One to my daughter, Adriana Brown. Her birthday be October 23rd. She'll be 21.
Happy birthday.
And yes, I love her to death. And hopefully I can get her driver's license by then, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, so, and my son, his birthday is Halloween. So I love you and happy birthday to you too. And reason why, he's definitely special. He's definitely that trick or treater. But with that said, I want everybody to make sure you follow and subscribe to my podcast. Please do. Big Head Light Skin Comedian Podcast. Put BHLC Podcast. I just changed it. Subscribe, or follow. And there's no reason why you shouldn't be subscribing because it's free. That means it's in your budget. It's in your budget. I don't want to hear you can't afford it. That's always the main thing with everybody now. If anything costs more than $1, I can't afford that. So it's in your budget. You can afford this. So make sure you follow and subscribe. And also, too, before I get out of here, one more big shout out to breast cancer awareness. If you know somebody is going through that, or if you can support it in that way, please do, because it's a very, very big disease that's hurting our queens, and we need to make sure we support them on that. You know, and I know it's a lot of things out there, but my heart's really close to breast cancer awareness because I have some relatives that have went through that. So we need to make sure we always support that breast cancer awareness. That's a real big thing with our queens and stuff. So, but also too, like I said, that was pretty much it. My next podcast is November the 9th, which is second Saturday in November. Make sure y'all tune in to Big Light Skin Comedian Podcast. And one other thing I said, follow and subscribe, and make sure you always tune in on the second Saturday, 8 o'clock, Facebook Live and YouTube. So with that said, man, it's been great having you on my show. You know I love you. Keep doing what you're doing. Much love to you and the wife and the family. Keep doing what you're doing. And keep just being Kenny, never been skinny. Well, shoot, I should say Kenny is skinny with the weight you've lost, because you've lost some weight. And they know, I'm like, boy, he keeps coming through the door and he's skinny. I'm really like, man, where is that crack at? So, but you are doing it, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I don't know what you're doing. And I know what, I heard people a lot of times say, I just can't lose no weight. I can't lose no weight. And I'm saying it back, my man, you ain't doing the right thing. And you're not disciplined. You know, and I've heard people say that. I'm just saying,
it's not discipline for me.
It's discipline, right? You know, anybody can say I can't. Can you discipline yourself to say I can?
It's free will, y'all. It's free.
There you go. Yeah.
You're talking about free stuff. It's free will.
Free. Thank you. You can, you know, and you know, I because on my last podcast I had a certified trainer, and you could do things at home. You don't even have to go to the gym. So a lot of times you're just holding yourself back. So if don't say the word I can't, say I can. You know, I don't like that word I can't. I tell my kids I don't do I can't. I do, I can, or maybe I know, but I won't do, I can't. So, so they said, though, man, it's been real. I'm glad I had you on my podcast. I'm gonna keep doing this. Hopefully, I'll get you back on here some other time too, and just keep being Kenny, never been skinny, which that's what I love
you
you for.
keep being big head, light skinned comedian, boy.
You know, that's all I can do.
Check this out. The only reason why I'm talking because it's an hour right there. There we go. That's how we do.
That's what we do. That's what we do. You know it. And I'm going to get you on this next show too in February, man, for sure, man.
Yeah, we got to do it. I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. And I think everybody, I didn't get no but good vibes from that show after it's over. A lot of people had great fun. And that's all I want. I want people to have great fun. And everybody went home safe. That's all. That's all. Everybody enjoyed themselves. That's what it's about. And with this said, man, I'm the Big Head License comedian. Make sure you follow and subscribe my podcast. And that's Kenny Never Been Skinny. Support him. Follow him on Facebook and Twitter, wherever he's at. Y'all take it easy. Have a blessed night. I like to always say the difference between a good day and a bad day is always your attitude. So enjoy the rest of the evening. I'm the one and only Big Head License comedian podcast. Y'all enjoy yourselves. Been real. Been real. I see y'all November the 9th. November the 9th. All right now.